Thanks for your company. The details now. The police has arrested a middle-aged man who had climbed the statue erected at the Obichibi Lamte runabout, attempting, allegedly, to take his life. Though it's hard to tell how he climbed the over 20-foot statue, eyewitnesses say he was aided by two other men within the early hours of Tuesday using a ladder. The man, who was later identified as a social commentator known as Dr. Think Twice, was rescued and handcuffed, but in a joint effort by the police and fire service. Now, as he was whisked away, he told Joy News that this was an attempt to embark on an anti-societal pressure campaign. And we understand that this is not the first time he's done this. Nancy Emefa-Dradosi was there and reports.
What you see is a middle-aged man seated by the statue, and there you also have a fat person attempting to go close to him and convince him to calm down by using the stretcher provided by the Ghana National Fire Service. Ever since we got here, he has been talking about how difficult life has been for him. We understand he's a gentleman called Think Twice, and that have it, a conversation by the fire service personnel to convince him to get down from where he's sitting. We don't know how long he has been here, but I see a number of people taking videos. You've been here for how long?
About 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes. So you only saw him 20 minutes ago?
Yes, sir.
What have you been hearing him say?
He said his wife have left him. His wife have left him. So because of that, he had a broken heart. So that is only what he's saying. And just about a few minutes ago, he said, when he get down, we should make our cameras ready, because he'll be ready to talk about pressure. Pressure that you should marry, pressure that you should give birth, pressure that you should do this. That we should resist pressure family members, friends give to us just because we should marry. And I don't know from the way he's talking, it may be pressure made him marry or got a wife and then the wife had left him just like that. So that is what he keeps saying, that his wife have left him, his wife have left him.
So you got here 20 minutes, so you cannot say at what time he got here, but how long now has he?
I say, mommy, I say, me know about me watching. But everyone say, since I'm Mrs. Me, who say, be at my flock or transfer. But everyone say, wait, my flock or transfer. Quite first or coffee. On first, I can't on principle.
Okay, so, what's your rose?
Medin de Kofi Amwa.
So Kofi Amwa also has been here for quite some time. He's saying that he's amazed about how somebody was able to climb this particular over 20-footer statue. He doesn't know how the guy got there, but he thinks that however he got there, he should get down the same way. And so the hails you see there, the cheering up started from him. He decided to scream, and then the people gathered here are also backing him. It's the own name time party, our flow statue.
But there be me since I hear my Bible, so can me won't be that. Me won't be that.
What time our flow statue?
Also by 5:30 more, and I'm happy. I'm going to say about 3. I'm about 5:30 more today. I'm very sad, you know.
No, me. Okay. I am hearing if you also me na mo ye nipa.
Ori en patron na ba ha. To obudu turo ba ko ba no wa na di koy and say say tintin ba so ntumi fure. So mo di ba no ba ko no kan so no tuna ha na mo koy. Ntumi di turo en fa so da na echi.
Time be ni.
By 5 in ho.
On your 5. On your 5. I have 6. No, post for no one.
5. 5 to go to 4.
No. It says, so basically, what they're saying is that the things happen around 5 o'clock. But I see that the gentleman in question has been picked up. We know that per Ghana's laws, an attempt to commit suicide is a crime, and it's a form of misdemeanor. And so we do not know what is going to be happening right after here. But they are alleging that at dawn around 5 a.m., the gentleman came here with two other persons with a ladder, and that is how he was able to get up there. And so there you have it. You see that the gentleman, who people call Think Twice, is getting down. You see multitudes of people holding their phones, ready to get an up-close shot of the gentleman in question. And there, the fire service persons are trying so hard to prevent him. And I see that on his shirt, I am going to try to read what is there, but I see boldly IGP, so I suspect that all he has there is Inspector General. Okay, I see Inspector General of Pressure. That is what is written on his shirt. Inspector General of Pressure instead of Inspector General of Police. That is what is rewritten in the church. What's your friend saying?
The friend me, I can say.
What time now?
Oh, around about 6 o'clock. I need a better so. Now me call Juma. Me am about so kind. You do run about. So the man say obiti slow. Tia cry. Can we afraid police for the fire service for say. Or me had the crack also. I say. Intina say wa. But any quite fast so fro e kusu slow. Call me first time. Me must be afraid poda. This is my first time I seen this. So actually I don't know. Okuta se kind say okuta hammer. Osere obekunu. Ba obekunu one one kunu fi. Na hana obekunu main role like that. Yeah.
Okay. So there are many that are raising concerns about the fact that he has a knife. He has a knife and also a hammer, which I am yet to see on him. There you see, he is trying so hard to get the attention of the crowd. And he says IGP. So basically, you see him getting down. I do not see the presence of the Ghana Police Service here, but we do not know. Okay, so I see a police officer standing close to him. I'm going to try to maneuver my way to hear whatever he has to say. So the police trying to clear here.
Pressure. Yeah, very good. The media here. Yeah. You know what? It seems you know me. Me na me handle pressure our country no. Which every year. Samati Dr. Tinto sir. My TV subebe last 4 years. Me da homa koso me ke yetia. Adi am see pressure bi she ho. Mo me ka pressure no wasem. Me yeah yo man fi me be last me da homa koso me. Oh kuma se ke yetia. I block traffic me police for farming. Now you can pressure the man for unye na worry. Unye na wonwo. Ba ko no awono. Mienu de seswa. Ana wo twenden. Jambo no manyum. Obe manya juma. Obe so kwakraba. Ontum bedin. Mami hu na nanu asa na bedan. Mami hu na nanu asa na bedan. Aye pressure na pressure. Asa na wi ana we na hyewo. Ana we no akoto. Wo mi no achia me. Ana wa kasa me ho. Ana we de dani. Aye pressure na pressure. Aye pressure na pressure. Eti enei wo sha enkwala yakena pomo. Awari mu enkofo ekuma. Ekum mema. Esa bebre. Eti na bebe fru we ya. Be ya sa be ya. Never the news. Ni educate ho.
Okay, so you have there the police officers dragging Mr. Think Twice to their van.
And for purposes of those of you who did not understand what that gentleman was saying, was basically saying that there are too many demands in society that's creating a lot of pressure. So all he wants to do is create awareness. Away from that, suspected armed robbers have shot dead a police officer at Manso, Agroyesum in the Ashanti region. That's according to the police. There now reports suggest he was rushed to the Agroyesum Catholic Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Kwai Divisional Police Commander who confirmed the incident says he's yet to receive formal briefing on it, but the deceased was said to have been in the company of suspected Chinese miners when he was attacked. My colleague Kwesi Deborah joins us on the line with more. Hello, Kwesi. How far with the police briefing on this killed officer?
Yes, Venice, as we talked earlier, the meeting was supposed to come around this time, 12. But unfortunately, we've been told that they are having a crunch meeting, and therefore they will communicate back to us when there's going to be the meeting. So as of now, we are here at the police command. We don't really know when the meeting is going to take place.
So you're currently at the Ashanti Region Police Headquarters, right?
Yeah.
We understand that the police is hoping to brief us on other matters. Can you tell us what those ones are?
Yes, it's O2 chief, the death of the O2 the demise also. This at the back of, there were a fresh investigation where we were able to retrieve the phone and 3 people have been arrested. So we've been told that is also going to come up. So we're waiting. As when they call us to come for the press, the briefing, we'll get everything for you.
All right, thank you very much. Lava from Squissy Deborah, they're joining us from the Ashanti region capital, where we expect that the police will brief the media on the killing of an officer at Agroyesum and also that of the Asante Hines sub-chief. Now, the Greater Accra Region Police Commander, DCOP Frederick Edu Enim, is calling on the public to continue supporting and assisting the service in combating crime in the country. Speaking at the launch of the Police Diary, which is Police News Magazine Police News Magazine, I beg your pardon, the regional headquarters in Accra, DCOP Edu mentioned that the diary will help Ghanaians understand the role the police plays and how we can together collaborate to make sure that that protection is ensured. Now, the police diary will be published twice a year to help the general public understand the relevance of the police service. It will also inform the public on crime prevention and the law, which is part of their communication strategy. My colleague Ifwa Evans Trini will bring us more in subsequent bulletins. But the intervention by 2 key eyewitnesses appears to have contributed immensely to efforts by police investigators to unravel the circumstances surrounding the killing of the Otumfuo's sub-chief, the Asamponghene. On Sunday, a farmer and a priest filed attempts by unknown culprits to allegedly bury and conceal every trace of evidence by quenching the fire set to the late chief's vehicle. My colleague Ohiming Terrier has been speaking with the 2 and has more.
This appears to be the final destination of Otumfuo's Asamponghene, who was murdered in cold blood in what police suspect to be contract killing. We have been speaking to eyewitnesses who tell us, first, the vehicle appeared to be in motion to enter into a ditch, and the farmer who was on his farm followed up, but the occupants moved the vehicle upwards towards the Nkranza direction from Ejura to about 300 meters, and this is where the vehicle landed. As you can see, these are 2 strong rocks, and this appear to have pulled up the brakes on the vehicle, and the occupants, we are told, set the vehicle on fire. It took the intervention of Mr. Bismarck Ajiman, who, with the support of his other church members, were returning from convention but decided to help put off the fire.
We were coming from the Assumption celebration at Grotto, Techiman. We were having about 3 different vehicles, so my car was the last. All the cars passed, and we saw that this Land Cruiser was on fire. So I stopped, and the other vehicles too stopped. And I brought my fire extinguisher, and they brought theirs, and we managed to put the fire off. So when we put the fire off, we opened the back gate and realized somebody was dead in the car. So I quickly took my car and went back to Ashayim, which is a village nearby, and reported to the police there. There's a barrier there, so I went and reported. And there was even a phone. I gave it to the police and reported it. They said they will call Ejura because this place is under their jurisdiction.
Now, we've been speaking to a monarchical historian, Nana Safukantanka, and he's been sharing with us the role of the Asamponghene, who's one of the sub-chiefs of the Otumfuo. And the Asante Kingdom works with divisions in a more democratic governance, he says today. The Asamponghene is like a minister and is part of the Mare division. And this tool is normally given to one very close to the Otumfuo, as we have established earlier, that this Asamponghene is a close relative to the Otumfuo. Now let's go back to that story on the Greater Accra Region Police launching a magazine program to assist the public understand their work and vice versa. And we've been joined by Ifwa Evans-Chinui. She's at that program. Hello, Ifwa.
Yes, hi, Bernice.
Give us exact details on these magazine programs and how, as a magazine, I understand, and how it's going to be made available to the public.
Right, okay. So the police diary was published to bridge the communication gap between the general public and the police and ensure that the public becomes aware of the daily activities of the police. Speakers of the launch spoke about the increasing crime rate in the country and how important it is to educate the general public to stop criminals and report any crime activities they come across. Now, this diary will be published twice a year, but some of the speakers pleaded or asked the police to ensure that it is published every month because crime is an everyday thing and people want to know what is happening in the surroundings so that they can report to the police what is happening. So this is what is happening here, Bernice.
All right, does it come at a fee? Hello, Ifwa.
Yes. Hello,
does it come at a fee? This magazine the police is hoping to release soon, does it come at a fee?
No, it doesn't come. It's free. It doesn't come at a fee.
All right. Thank you very much, Ifwa Evans-Chinui, joining us from the launch of a police magazine, hoping to bridge the gap, communication gap between the police and the public. Away from that, lawyer for some Menzgold customers, Amanda Clinton, wants supporters or customers, I beg your pardon, to focus on their money. She's also asking the Menzgold CEO, Nana Mensah, to publish evidence of money owed him by a Dubai-based company if he really wants government support in retrieving it. She spoke earlier on News Desk.
To be looked at whether through marketing was set up as a sham in order to avoid SEC and deposit-taking regulations. So that is the issue in front of the criminal court. So now one is saying, oh, I don't know why this is happening to me, etc., etc. But he's facing 13 serious counts. The other directors have absconded and are not before the court. And this is a very sophisticated money laundering operation that is being alleged. So apart from all this, we just want to focus on the money. And to focus on the money, it means if NAM1 says there's 39 million somewhere, provide the evidence, put it on Ghana Web, puts pressure on government to say this is public interest. But to date, not even a case reference number from Dubai has been supplied to anybody, and that is a mystery. The best way to get charges off you, to anybody, is to satisfy the debts. So if he satisfies the debt, in all likelihood, the charges wouldn't be against him, maybe, or they would go lighter on him. Secondly, if this is an issue of a bank account, bank accounts are very easy to set up. If a man and the other directors are facing charges of fraud, that might not be the bank account you want to open until the issue of fraud has been, established, etc. So what you do is you set up an earmarked account, you get auditors to set up an earmarked account, and the only thing that goes into that account is money for the customers. Everybody would have oversight on that account. Auditors, independent auditors, government, lawyers, etc. And then the fund would be managed. But to date, Menzgold has not provided a shred of evidence that there is $39 million for them and a judgment. And if there is, publish all the evidence on Ghana Web, and then let us put pressure on government to go after the public's money.
Speaking on the same show, lawyer Martin Pegbu argued that it's better to get Nana Mensah to pay clients their monies than seek to imprison him.
When you have a case in court and you're able to, when it involves money, and you're able to do restitution, that you're able to send the money to those complaining.
Okay.
It helps the fidelity of the case. Number one, in respect of giving the state may even come up and cancel the case altogether. That is to say, the state can even decide to continue the trial.
Okay.
Or, number two, if the trial leads to judgment and then they are convicted, because he has succeeded returning the money to whom it is due, usually the sentence substantially, you say. So, whichever we say the customers would increase his fortune in the criminal case. The first one is that any day, the finance is able to do restitution, that is to return money or any items or property to people to whom it is due. It's better than just throwing him away in Sawan. What is he going to do? Just throw him in Sawan. That is, it's completed in Sawan. The state will have to feed him and to take care of him medically and all that. Not his benefit. For 80 days, returning the money to the person's is more important at this point in time. And then don't forget that if these people don't get paid, so we have a ticking time bomb on our hands. They are going to agitate more and more. And they are going to give us a...
You're watching Joy News today. Still to come, President Akufo-Addo assent to newly amended mining law that prescribes a 25-year maximum prison term for persons engaged in illegal mining. Details shortly. Thanks for staying here on News Today. President Akufo-Addo has assented to the newly amended mining law that prescribes a 25-year maximum prison term for persons engaged in illegal mining. Addressing members of the Council of State, the president said the decision to peg a prison term for offenders, including foreigners, is to take the discretionary powers from judges whom he claims by their action are not helping with dealing with persons engaged in illegal mining. Presidential correspondent Elton Brobe is at that meeting and joins us with more. Elton, give us a brief recap of this amended mining law and why it's important now.
Right, so Benny, the original law existed and government thought it wise to incorporate into the existing law the punishment regime such that the discretionary powers entrusted with our judges will be taken away from them, so that if a case of somebody engaging in illegal mining is brought before them, they will not have that discretionary power to say sentencing them to this year or that year, but to stick to the law which says that you can sentence a person who has been caught engaging in illegal mining to a minimum of 50 years and a maximum of 25 years. And that was the amendment that the government took to Parliament. Parliament deliberated on it, passed it, and last month President Akufo-Addo assented with, which means that as we speak, there's a law which prescribes a minimum 15 years prison sentence for persons engaged in illegal mining and a maximum of 25 years. According to President Akufo-Addo, some judges in our courts have not been cooperative in dealing with this particular matter. That's how come they decided to take the discretionary powers away from them, because sometimes people are arrested, they are put before court, and the next thing they are back on the field doing the very things that they were arrested for. That is the more reason why government amended the law, and now there is a clear guideline as far as sentencing people engaged in illegal mining is concerned. And this was actually a request or a set of demands that the Council of State brought before them in their opening remarks with the president, where they also spoke about the collectivism, general discipline, the banking crisis in the country. So going forward now, as we speak, we have a law that says that if you are engaged in illegal mining, you have a minimum sentence of 15 and a maximum of 25 years.
All right, Elton, in talking about the cases or talking about the judge's discretionary powers, did the president mention any specific case?
No, he don't mention a specific case, but it says that some of the judges have not been cooperating with law enforcers, because people are arrested and they are put before court, and the next day they are back on the street or they are back on the field doing the very things that they were arrested for.
All right.
Because the judges use their own discretion in sometimes granting them bail or asking them to go free. But with this law now in place, if you go contrary to the dictates of the law, you, the judge, can be held responsible for your own action.
All right. Thank you very much, Presidential Correspondent Elton Brobe there, and giving us some details on the president's assent to the newly amended mining bill, which prescribes a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of 25 for persons found to be engaging in illegal mining activities. Now, Ghana could be losing thousands of cedis to smugglers, if not millions, at various unapproved routes in Lubu in the western region. The smugglers who transport goods at a charge for those looking to skip paying duties at approved routes have been emboldened by the lack of logistics for immigration and custom officials stationed there. Western Region correspondent Nathalia Kwanza traveled through 6 of 10 unapproved routes and interacted with some of the smugglers who have no fears whatsoever about what they do.
I am here at Cocoville, one of the numerous unapproved routes to and from Ghana to neighboring Ivory Coast at Alibo in the Jomoro district of the Western Region. It is business as usual, and my camera captures 3 young men in a canoe fully packed with rice and other goods, paddling towards what they call their landing site. At the bank of the River Tunnel, another group of young men load bags of rice into a tricycle. They tell me they had been contracted by a shop operator in Takrade to buy these bags of rice from Ivory Coast and use this route to evade duties they consider too expensive. They seem unperturbed by our presence and make no attempt to stop. We learn from the community this illegal business is the norm here and big business as well.
That rice and oil and coal and many more. Yes, sometimes we bring them because they said Cote d'Ivoire rice is cheap. That is why they send out the money, we go there to buy them, bring it here. We pass here because of the duty that they were doing at border side. It's very high, it's very expensive, so people can't do the duty. They used to pass this way. So if the government can reduce the duty for them, they also can pass that place. Okay. So that's the reason why you saw them passing this river, through this river, enter the country.
I want small money, then go to school. That's why I'm here.
Is this place an approved route?
No, it's not approved. Because what I know that this place is like illegal place that you wish.
Theophilus Annan is a resident here. He takes few minutes off his quiet time here at the riverside to walk me through how goods are transported here every day to and from Ghana and Ivory Coast.
Okay, when they close the border, people would like to use this route to go to wherever they want to go because of time. So when they get here, those guys over there, they will cross them and collect some money from them.
Daily basis, can you estimate the number of people who move in and out?
For there are many, to be frank with you. I can't tell you a specific number, but there are many, especially market days, for instance, and in the evening.
I have come to Cocoa Town, about 10 minutes drive from Cocoville. Here, I meet a queue of canoe paddlers waiting to offer transportation service to anyone who wants to smuggle goods from Ghana to Ivory Coast. Their destination from here is usually an Ivorian community called French Nungwa. This is River Tando, and it is the boundary between Elubo community known as Cocoa Town and French Nungwa. This happens to be a no man's land. We are going to get to the side of the river and see if we can get some Ivorians coming down. An Okada driver, Kwekunimo, not his real name, takes me to French Nungwa. He tells me unapproved routes here in Cocoa Town are as busy as the main Alubo border. He says the people who transport the goods have tactical means of frustrating immigration and customs officials on the river, since the officials do not have a speedboat to chase after them.
For the comparison of the borders, like I said, Elibu is so effective, but one of two things, a border so a camera.
For residents here, the unapproved routes have become hubs of economic activities, boosting their local economy. They cannot be bothered about any negative impacts.
Economically, these routes is very important to this community and Ghana as a whole. To be sincere to you, this route has helped this community a lot economically. We don't have a single day whereby a car will not come from Cote d'Ivoire.
It is 30 minutes after 7 p.m. and the main Alubo border is closed. But in the thick of the darkness, I see people busily transporting goods and persons to the river tunnel. I have been informed illegal transporters like these stay on the river till 12 a.m.
They were afraid. They were afraid to pass here. So we try to convince them so that they can pass and go. We also can get our chop money from that place. So because of there is no work.
This story will be told over and over, but without the necessary logistics, border officials will check those who choose to use the approved border, and the unapproved routes will remain hubs for smugglers and traffickers. In Athalia Kwanza, Joy News, Western Region.
You're watching Joy News today. Just a quick update on the story we did earlier about the suspected killing of a police officer by armed men at Manso. We've just received a statement from the police, and it includes the killing of another officer at Achim Swedru in the Eastern region. And the IGP has directed for speedy investigations into these two, and has also directed that a team from the headquarters support the various commands. The Ghana Police Service is asking that if you have any information, do well to volunteer, and they're also assuring the public that they would investigate this and get to the bottom of this. The police is proceeding to meet families of the affected officers to commiserate with them as well. We'll bring you more on that. You're watching Joy News today. Coming up shortly in business, air passengers in Ghana can now purchase a single ticket for international trips from domestic airports. We'll tell you all about that shortly.